G'day, Steve Morgan here on a pretty special day at St Helens in Tasmania. We have finished the Mercury qualifier of the Costa BREAM Series and we have our first international champion of ABT, Mike Sutcliffe. You've won this event. You've been to this arena a few times before. Sometimes it's loved you a little, sometimes it's hated you a little bit, but it really loved you this weekend, mate. Tell us the story of how you mastered this arena, finally.
Luck. Blind luck. No, I mean... Actually, there were a couple of things I had to think about. So, I mean, we had a spectacularly ordinary pre-fish. James, who very, very kindly lent me his boat, went out in his boat and did a pre-fish. We had a bit of a poke around. There was one flat that I fished years and years ago, actually socially, with Steersy, and we got good fish off it. And I thought, well, that's kind of a good flat to fish. Good place to start. And I couldn't get on it during pre-fish day. It was covered in boats. So there was lots of other people who had the same thought as me. So I thought, okay, we'll leave it. And we'll try and find somewhere else. And then I wanted to fish out the front because I figured that's where the bigger fish were going to be. And went around the corner and lo and behold, there's nobody on the flat.
It was like the waters parted and let you in there.
Well, something like that. But it was just, again, blind luck. So there was nobody else on the flat. So I thought, well, this will do. And yesterday, the wind, we had wind blowing from two different directions in 2 different days. So yesterday, the tide was coming in and the wind was blowing against the tide. So I decided, you had a choice. Do you go with the tide, do you go with the wind? Fishing hard bodies on a clear blue sky day, go with the wind.
Make the long cast.
Yeah, make the long cast. So I rode the electric pretty hard and just made these really, really long casts across this. It's not exactly a flat. It was kind of a drop off from a flat, in between the oyster racks and the shore. And there's a patch of ground there. If you could see weed which looked kind of like sponges, that seemed to be the right territory. There were the odd dig here and there, but that seemed to be what the fish were in. And we saw gummy sharks and rays and all the rest of it. But yeah, so the fish were in that. And this outfit and this lure just did the damage both days. So today we did it the other way around, put in the other end because the wind and tide were both going the same direction. But again, super long cast.
And in that really clear water, that seems to be the key, doesn't it? You got to get that lure and present to them before they see you and take off.
Yeah, I mean, I think fishing with both my non-boaters. I even gave my non-boater one of these lures yesterday because I wanted him to get fish, and we were fishing the same structure, the same patch of fish, the same weight of leader and all the rest of it. And he was still not getting the fish. Now, I don't know whether it was his retrieve or the fact that he wasn't chucking it quite as far as I was throwing it.
Yeah, that extra few metres can sometimes make the difference. Now, let's have a look at the tackle that you're using. Run us through this outfit.
Okay, so this is a Samurai Reaction, which I really, really like. I bought it when I was at the Gold Coast for the grand final last year. I was in a tackle shop waving rods around, making it look like I knew what I was doing. And I picked this one up and went, oh.
It's light, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought I've got to have one of those. So I picked it up and I've really enjoyed having it. And it's paired with a dye where it exists, as you can see. And there was one lure which did the damage all weekend. You can see it's so beaten up it's missing an eye on one side now. But it was the zip bait Camson. It's quite a shallow runner. And I don't know whether it's got a very sort of lively action. It wiggles really nicely in the water. I don't know whether it's supposed to be a crankbait rather than a jerkbait, but I fished it like a jerkbait. And like I say, they seem to hit this, particularly on really, really long pauses. I mean, hopefully you'll see on the video. I don't know what you've got on the video, by the way. It could be anything. Could be 2 hours of my backside. But hopefully on the video you'll see that the way I was fishing it was a couple of quick rips and then quite long pauses. So yeah, it seemed to work.
It was obviously the correct technique, and we were jimmying up that camera this morning. So yes, hopefully in the highlights we do have some. We had the stick and we had the rod holders holding it up. The cool thing I think about this whole scenario is you've met someone through ABT, a local guy, lent you his boat. Yeah. It's the smallest or second smallest boat in the field. Scotty Towner runs the other small one. And you've paired up together, found the fish and got it done. You do not need a big boat to win an event in this joint, do you?
No, you don't. I mean, in fact, there are places where small boats would actually be able to get in and make it much easier. It would have helped if the electric had behaved all weekend. So we had an electric that was stuck on constant, and a live well which, if you turned it onto, put the live well on, it pumped all the water out the live well. So other than that, it was great. And James, I've got to thank him so much for being so generous with his boat and with his company and with his I stayed at his place in Hobart, so with his accommodation as well. It's just been fantastic.
Yeah, well, it really is a true story of ABTs, and our motto, of course, is who shares wins. I am super pumped to have an international from Singapore win our first ever international winner of a competition, taking home all the prize money. You have now qualified for the grand final in Port Stephens, so mate, you're going to have to organise another loan boat to come here again.
Exactly. Well, I might bring my own one up from Sydney for that one.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you go. That's our winner, Mike Sutcliffe. Congratulations, mate. A great day
Cheers,
for ABT BREAM.
Thank you. Cheers.